Cillian Murphy is an Irish actor. Originally the lead singer, guitarist, and lyricist of the rock band The Sons of Mr. Green Jeans, he turned down a record deal in the late 1990s and began acting on stage and in short and independent films. His first notable film credits include Jim in the zombie horror 28 Days Later, the dark comedy Intermission, and the action thriller Red Eye. He played a transgender Irish woman in the comedy drama Breakfast on Pluto, which earned him a nomination for the Golden Globe Award for Best Actor in a Musical or Comedy. Murphy is known for his collaborations with director Christopher Nolan, playing the Scarecrow in the Dark Knight trilogy of superhero films and appearing in the sci-fi action thriller Inception, the war drama Dunkirk, and starring in the upcoming biopic Oppenheimer as the titular physicist. Other films in which he has appeared include the war drama The Wind That Shakes the Barley, the sci-fi thriller Sunshine, the sci-fi action thriller In Time, Joseph Gabk in the war drama Anthropoid, and the horror A Quiet Place Part 2. From 2013 to 2022, he starred as Tommy Shelby in the BBC crime drama series Peaky Blinders, for which he won the Irish Film and Television Award for Best Actor in 2017 and 2018. In 2011, Murphy won the Irish Times Theatre Award for Best Actor and Drama Desk Award for Outstanding Solo Performance for the one-man play Mist Ermin. In 2020, the Irish Times named him one of the greatest Irish film actors. Murphy is married to Irish visual artist Yvonne McGuinness and has 2 sons with her. Early life. Murphy was born on May 25, 1976 in Douglas, Cork. His mother taught French while his father, Brendan, worked for the Department of Education and Skills. His grandfather, aunts, and uncles were also teachers. He was raised in Ballintemple, Cork, alongside his younger brother Paddy and 2 younger sisters Sile and Orla. He started writing and performing songs at the age of 10. He was raised Catholic and attended the fee-paying Catholic secondary school Presentation Brothers College, where he did well academically but often got into trouble, sometimes being suspended. He decided in his 4th year that misbehaving was not worth the hassle. Not keen on sports, which was a major part of the school's curriculum, he found that artistic pursuits were neglected at the school. Murphy got his first taste of performing in secondary school, when he participated in a drama module presented by Corcadorca Theatre Company director Pat Kiernan. He later described the experience as a huge high and a fully alive feeling that he then set out to chase. Novelist William Wall, who was his English teacher, encouraged him to pursue acting, but he was set on becoming a rock star. In his late teens and early 20s, he sang and played the guitar in several bands alongside his brother, Paddy, and the Beatles-obsessed duo named their most successful band The Sons of Mr. Green Jeans, which they adopted from the Frank Zappa song of the same name. He later said the band specialized in wacky lyrics and endless guitar solos. They were offered a 5-album deal by Acid Jazz Records, which they rejected because Paddy was still in school and the duo did not agree with the small amount of money they would get for giving the record label the rights to Murphy's compositions. Murphy later confessed, "I'm very glad in retrospect that we didn't sign, because you kind of sign away your life to a label and the whole of your music." Murphy began studying law at University College Cork in 1996. But failed his first-year exams because he had no ambitions to do it. Not only was he busy with his band, but he knew within days after starting at UCC that law was not what he wanted to do. After seeing Corcadorca's stage production of A Clockwork Orange, directed by Kiernan, acting began to garner his interest. His first major role was in the UCC Drama Society's amateur production of Observe the Sons of Ulster Marching Towards the Somme, which starred Irish-American comedian Day Bishop. Murphy also played the lead in their production of Little Shop of Horrors, which was performed in the Cork Opera House. He later admitted that his primary motivation at the time was not to pursue an acting career, but to go to parties and meet women. Career 1996–2001, early work. Murphy pressured Pat Kiernan until he got an audition at Corcadorca Theatre Company, and in September 1996, he made his professional acting debut on the stage, playing the part of a volatile Cork teenager in Enda Walsh's Disco Pigs. Walsh recalled meeting and discovering Murphy. There was something about him, he was incredibly enigmatic, and he would walk into a room with real presence and you'd go, my God. It had nothing to do with those bloody eyes that everyone's going on about all the time. Murphy observed, I was unbelievably cocky and had nothing to lose, and it suited the part, I suppose. Originally intended to run for 3 weeks in Cork, Disco Pigs ended up touring throughout Europe, Canada, and Australia for 2 years, and Murphy left both university and his band. Though he had intended to go back to playing music, he secured representation after his first agent caught a performance of Disco Pigs, and his acting career began to take off. He starred in many other theatre productions, including Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing, The Country Boy and Juno and The Paycock. He began appearing in independent films such as On the Edge, and in short films, including Fionn and Feel and Watchmen. He also reprised his role for the film adaptation of Disco Pigs and appeared in the BBC television mini-series adaptation of The Way We Live Now. During this period, he moved from Cork, relocating first to Dublin for a few years, then to London in 2001. 2002–2004, 28 Days Later / I and Breakthrough. None. 2005–2006. Villainous roles and critical success. Murphy appeared as Dr. Jonathan Crane in Christopher Nolan's Batman Begins. Originally asked to audition for the role of Bruce Wayne / Batman, Murphy never saw himself as having the right physique for the superhero, but leapt at the chance to connect with director Nolan. Though the lead went to Christian Bale, Nolan was so impressed with Murphy that he gave him the supporting role of Dr. Crane, whose alter ego is supervillain Scarecrow. Nolan told Spin magazine, "He has the most extraordinary eyes, and I kept trying to invent excuses for him to take his glasses off in close ups." He starred as Jackson Ripner, who terrorizes Rachel McAdams on an overnight flight in Wes Craven's thriller, Red Eye. The New York Times film critic Manala Dargis asserted that Murphy made a picture-perfect villain and that his baby blues look cold enough to freeze water and his wolfish leer suggests its own terrors. The film was favorably reviewed and earned almost $100 million worldwide. Murphy received several awards nominations for his 2005 villainous roles, among them a nomination as Best Villain at the 2006 MTV Movie Awards for Batman Begins. Entertainment Weekly ranked him among its 2005 Summer MVPs, a cover story list of 10 entertainers with outstanding breakthrough performances. The New Yorker's David Denby wrote, "Cillian Murphy, who has angelic looks that can turn sinister, is one of the most elegantly seductive monsters in recent movies." Murphy starred as Patrick/Kitten Braden, a transgender Irish woman in search of her mother, in Neil Jordan's comedy-drama Breakfast on Pluto, based on the novel of the same title by Patrick McCabe. Seen against the film's kaleidoscopic backdrop of 1970s glitter rock fashion, magic shows, red light districts, and IRA violence, Murphy transforms from androgynous teen to high-drag blonde bombshell. He had auditioned for the role in 2001 and, though Jordan liked him for the part, the director of The Crying Game was hesitant to revisit transgender and IRA issues. The actor lobbied Jordan for several years in a bid to get the film made before Murphy became too old to play the part. In 2004, he prepared for the role by meeting a transvestite who dressed him and took him clubbing with other transvestites. The role required serious primping with eyebrow plucking and chest and leg hair removal, and Roger Ebert noted the way that Murphy played the character with a bemused and hopeful voice. While lukewarm reviews of Breakfast on Pluto tended to praise Murphy's performance highly, a few critics dissented. The Village Voice, which panned the film, found him unconvincing and overly cute. Murphy was nominated for a Golden Globe Award for Best Actor in a Musical or Comedy for Breakfast on Pluto and won the 4th Irish Film and Television Academy Best Actor Award. Premiere magazine cited his performance as Kitten in their The 24 Finest Performances of 2005 feature. In 2006, Murphy starred in The Wind That Shakes the Barley, a film about the Irish War of Independence and the Irish Civil War, which won the Palme d'Or at the 2006 Cannes Film Festival and became the most successful Irish independent film at the Irish box office. Murphy was especially keen on appearing in the film due to his intimate connections to Cork, Ireland, where the film was shot. Murphy auditioned 6 times for the role of Damien O'Donovan, a young doctor turned revolutionary, before winning the part. Murphy considered it a very special privilege to have been given the role and stated that he was tremendously proud of the film, remarking that the memories run very deep, the politics, the divisions, and everybody has stories of family members who were caught up in the struggle. David Denby noted Murphy's moments of deep stillness and idiosyncrasies in portraying the character. Kenneth Turan of the Los Angeles Times wrote that Murphy is especially good at playing the zealotry as well as the soul-searching and the regret, at showing us a man who is eaten up alive because he's forced to act in ways that are contrary to his background and his training. GQ magazine presented Murphy with its 2006 Actor of the Year award for his work in The Wind That Shakes the Barley. 2006-2010, further theatre and film roles. Murphy returned to the stage starring opposite Neve Campbell at the New Ambassadors Theatre in London's West End from November 2006 to February 2007, playing the lead role of John Calvenbeca's play Love Song. Theatre Record described his character of Bean as a winsomely cranky, mentally unstable, sentimentalist lonely hero, noting how he magnetically, with all blue eyes and twitching hands, moves comically from painfully shy wallpaper to garrulous, amorous male. Variety magazine considered his performance to be as magnetic on stage as on screen, remarking that his unhurried puzzlement pulls the slight preciousness in the character's idiot savant naivete back from the brink. He starred in the science fiction film Sunshine as a physicist astronaut charged with reigniting the sun, also directed by Danny Boyle. He starred opposite Lucy Liu in Paul Soter's romantic comedy Watching the Detectives. The indie film premiered at the 2007 Tribeca Film Festival and was released direct-to-DVD. Murphy starred as Richard Neville, editor of the psychedelic radical underground magazine Ounce, in the film Hippie Hippie Shake, which was filmed in 2007, but the project, much delayed, was eventually shelved in 2011. Murphy made a brief reappearance as the Scarecrow in Nolan's The Dark Knight, the sequel to Batman Begins, before starring in The Edge of Love, about a love quadrangle involving the poet Dylan Thomas with Keira Knightley, Sienna Miller, and Matthew Rhys. In July 2008, Murphy made a debut appearance in another medium on a postage stamp. The Irish Post Office, An Post, released a series of 4 stamps paying homage to the creativity of films recently produced in Ireland, including one featuring Murphy in a still from The Wind That Shakes the Barley. In 2009, Murphy starred opposite rock singer Feist and actor David Fox in The Water, directed by Kevin Drew of Broken Social Scene. The 15-minute Canadian short film, released online in April 2009, is nearly silent until the Feist song of the same title plays close to the end. Murphy was attracted to the role as a fan of Broken Social Scene and the prospect of making a silent movie, which he considered to be the hardest test for any actor. Murphy also starred in Perrier's Bounty, a crime dramedy from the makers of Intermission, in which he portrayed a petty criminal on the run from a gangster played by Brendan Gleeson. In 2010, he made a return to theatre in From Galway to Broadway and Back Again, which was a stage show that celebrated the Druid Theatre Company's 35th birthday. The direct-to-video psychological thriller Peacock, CO starring Elliot Page, Susan Sarandon, and Bill Pullman, starred Murphy as a man with a split personality who fools people into believing he is also his own wife. Christian Toto of the Washington Times referred to the film as a handsomely mounted psychological drama with an arresting lead turn by Cillian Murphy, and noted that although Murphy wasn't a stranger to playing in drag, his work in the film set a new standard for gender-bending performances. Murphy next starred in Christopher Nolan's Inception, playing entrepreneur Robert Fisher, whose mind is infiltrated by DiCaprio's character Cobb to convince him to dissolve his business. That year, Murphy also made an uncredited cameo as programmer Edward Dillinger Jr., son of original Tron antagonist Ed Dillinger in Tron: Legacy. 2011 present, further acclaim, I Peaky Blinders/I, and I A Quiet Place Part 2/I. None. Public image. Murphy does not have a personal stylist or publicist, travels without an entourage, and often attends film premieres alone. Reserved and private, he professes a lack of interest in the celebrity scene, finding the red carpet experience a challenge that he does not want to overcome. He intentionally practices a lifestyle that will not interest the tabloids, stating, "I haven't created any controversy, I don't sleep around, I don't go and fall down drunk." He prefers not to speak about his life outside of acting and did not appear on any television talk shows until 2010, when he was a guest on Ireland's Late Late Show to promote Perrier's Bounty, though he still remained reserved. In 2015, he was named one of GQ's 50 Best Dressed Men. Activism. Murphy participated in the 2007 Rock the Vote Ireland campaign, targeting young voters for the general election, and campaigning for the rights of the homeless with the organisation Focus Ireland. In 2011, he became a patron of the UNESCO Child and Family Research Centre at the National University of Ireland Galway. He is closely associated with the work of Professor Pat Dolan, Director UCFRC and UNESCO Chair in Children, Youth and Civic Engagement. In February 2012, he wrote a message of support to the former Vita Cortex workers involved in a sit-in at their plant, congratulating them for highlighting is hugely important to us all as a nation. Personal life. In mid-2004, Murphy married his longtime girlfriend Yvonne McGuinness, whom he had met at one of his rock band's shows in 1996. They lived in London from 2001 to 2015, when they moved to Dublin. They have 2 sons, born in December 2005 and July 2007 respectively. Music is still an important part of Murphy's life. In 2004, he said, "The only extravagant thing about my lifestyle is my stereo system, buying music, and going to gigs." He no longer plays in a rock band, but regularly plays music with friends and on his own, and still writes songs. Murphy does not plan to start another band, and said, "Even if I was good, the very notion of being an actor with a rock band on the side would mean I'd never be taken seriously." Murphy has presented numerous programs on British digital radio station BBC Radio 6 Music since 2013, including the Cillian Murphy's limited edition series where he shares and discusses his favourite music. In 2005, he named fellow Irish actors Colin Farrell, Jonathan Rhys-Meyers, and Liam Neeson as friends, calling Neeson his surrogate movie dad. However, his closest friendships are those he made before becoming well-known. Murphy was raised Roman Catholic and had been verging on agnosticism until researching his role as a physicist and astronaut in the 2007 film Sunshine, which confirmed his atheism. In 2019, he stated that the Catholic faith still shaped his morality. He was a vegetarian for around 15 years, which he said happened because he was worried about getting mad cow disease rather than a moral decision. He also had qualms about unhealthy agribusiness practices. He began eating meat again to bulk up for his role in Peaky Blinders. He enjoys running. Filmography.